Yes,
Okay,
true.
so this is my and Nick's review of the crappy movie Insidious. Spoiler alert, we think it's crappy. Well, I think it's crappy. What do you think?
It's pretty crappy.
Crappy. Especially because Lee Wanell, who wrote the first Saw and who was in it and who's also in this movie, wrote this movie. And I've decided he spent all of his money on the cast. And he was just like, I really need to make another movie because I want some money, but I can't have it be very good because Saw was really good. I don't want to top that, so I'm gonna make a really crappy movie. Yeah. Um. So anywho, by the way, Nick pointed out. See the little boy here on the cover, how he looks all possessed. Yeah.
He's never possessed.
No, that's the premise of the movie, but it never happened. So I don't know why we see little freaky demon child and all that. You'd think it was like The Omen, of which, by the way, also came to the conclusion because of Nick. When did we decide that it was poltergeistish? Oh, when they're like, they they want him because he's living, and they want to be alive, and they're drawn to your energy, and I'm like, wait,
And
I've
they're
already seen the
stronger when they're
poltergeist.
living.
Yeah, they're like, apparently you don't know that when you're alive, you're stronger than the dead, and you're just like, oh, that's right. I am alive, and they're not. Now I can just push him away, and he'll just. What, did he vanish? I wasn't paying
Yeah, he just
attention.
disappeared in thin air.
Yeah, I was searching for jobs. I got bored. Yeah, and then my favorite part of the movie is when he goes into the further, which, by the way, all the further is like an empty warehouse with a fog machine. That's about it. And then he goes to his house in the further. And there's a bunch of people, super pale looking, maybe white face paint.
Probably.
Just sitting there, like just sitting there, smiling. Do it. And they just sit there, and he just walks by them, and then one blinks, and he's like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna go in the other room, where there's another girl sitting with a shotgun." And what does he do, Nick?
He asks where his kid is?
Now he starts yelling, "Tell me where my kid is!" And she's just sitting there. Tell me where my kid is! It's like she's gonna be like, oh, he's upstairs. So whatever, then you hear shot, he runs in the next room, and the people look the exact same, except they're in slightly different positions and they're dead. Do it. And the only difference is, I feel like they're just like, okay, we're gonna shoot this quick. Alright, everybody do your stuff, look creepy. Do whatever, hold the newspaper. Look creepy. And then like, okay, now I'm gonna paint a teeny tiny circle about that big, just little circle, that big, just right in the middle, and that's gonna be you dead. Except you're gonna be leaning back. Not moving. Opposed to standing up, smiling, not moving. Now you're back here. A little red dot. Oh. And licking. There was a awful lot of licking in this movie. Weirdo guy. Trench coat, black guy. Not trench coat. Leather, black coat.
Whatever.
Guy.
Creepy
Whatever.
Guy.
Came, and then he just, like, goes after the wife, and he's like, ah, and then he disappears. And then later he comes back, and he's like, ah, and then you don't see him. And you see him pick up the wife, and he's like, I'm gonna lick your face. Ah. And you're like, wait. You came from the land of the dead to the land of the living to hold a chick against the wall, push her up, and to lick her face? Okay. I want the creepy old lady. Just, okay, we're gonna paint her face white. Get one of those veils. Just have her hold a candle. Like, really, I think he should have just pushed her a little, and then the flame would just killed her, right?
She was in a mirror, though.
Yeah, wait, the whole time?
I'm
Wasn't
pretty
she
sure.
walking around a couple times?
I don't know.
I don't know. But yeah, the first time and the
I
second
lost
time, it was
interest.
kind of like she was just like on the other side of a window. What do you want? What do you want? Wasn't it clear the old lady said that they want to possess you because they're dead and they want to be living? I don't know why he's like, what do you want? You remember before you like did this whole astro projection thing, the old lady told you what they want? Yeah, there were so many twists. And God, I would have never known. And thank God they did all those little things where at the beginning she's like, oh, honey, let's look at pictures of our family. Oh, look, there's me and there's you. Can I see pictures of Daddy when Daddy was little? Oh, I don't know why we don't have any. Wonder if that's going to come back later. What else was the stupid, like, obvious stuff? Like, I can't find my sheet music anywhere. Do you know where it is? I looked all over the house. I unpacked every box. Okay, so these people move houses. Legitimately just, I'm afraid I don't want to be in this house anymore. Honey, hold me. I want to move. Okay, we'll move. So they move. And the kid's been in a coma since house 1. So then they move to house 2, and they have all these little pictures nicely hung on the wall. And only after the old lady's like, by the way, you did this when you were a kid, blah, blah, blah. Oh, spoiler alert. It's one of the twists. This happened to you when you were a kid, and you fly, and you go to another world, and ugh. Then, magically, he walks into his son's room, who's in a coma, and looks at all these pictures that now make sense. Like, he had never seen them before. Like, he just drew them yesterday. He was like, alright, he's been in a coma for 3 months. Darth Maul, you can handle that.
He wasn't that scary.
No, but I'm glad that he got a second role. Like,
Oh.
really, what are you going to do after Star Wars?
Well, he wasn't as horny in this one. Did not have the horns on the head, even though he did want to get inside of a little kid's body, which a little
Very
weird for
Michael
me.
Jackson-ish.
Penn State.
Yeah, I don't
Slash.
keep up with the sports. Oh, and what, the hooves? He had hooves.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
cat eyes.
Oh, yes, but he's a scary demon with really long fingernails that he keeps sharpened, but apparently never uses.
Well, they look like fingernails, and then the part where he's sharpening it looked like Freddy Krueger claws. And then they went back to fingernails.
Before he did the, like, I'm gonna go against the glass and then just look at you and go. Now you gotta do it creepier. You just stick the tongue out. You gotta do the hands. Yeah, and you're just like, wait, why is everybody trying to lick things to be scary? I mean, you don't go, you have your gun and you're just like, you give me your wallet. I don't know how that's scary.
That would scare me. That would creep me out. I would give you the wallet.
I wasn't gonna give you my wallet before.
Just.
But now fucking take it. Just don't lick me.
Yes.
Oh, the gas mask.
Oh, God.
So her whole I'm gonna talk to your son on the other side thing. She puts on a gas mask. Covers her face. You just see her eyes. And there's this long tubing that feeds through to some headphones that guy from Saw's wearing. And then he's got the little flashlights on his glasses. And she's just sitting there, whispering very quietly. And then he writes his stuff down and says whatever she's saying. And it's just stupid. Like, did they just go to a hardware store and a toy store for their products?
Well, they spent all the money on the actors. They couldn't spend that much money on the props.
Really, you can't really listen, Mr. Bank Manager. Have you seen the movie Saw? I wrote that. Give me money. Really? I mean, we can't find some really good-looking, talented people who you can pay, like, an eighth of the price and get some high-tech shit going on. I mean, like, he even said, oh, well, that's really just a modified toy. And you're just like, yeah, I played with one of those when I was a kid. It's a little, viewfinder thing, and
Yeah,
you
well,
click,
you
click.
click it and it spins and
Yeah,
has a new image. I don't remember what they're called.
and it's a viewfinder thing.
Yeah.
We could Google it, but I'm too lazy. Yeah, and you're just like, ooh, that's your high-tech equipment. Well, I can't see the ghost when it's red. I can't see the ghost when it's yellow, but when it's green, shit gets real. And there were just two girls standing there, just standing there. Scary. Yeah. And you're really creepy when you do that. Let's paint your face white. We should have cast you in that.
Mm.
I don't know. I'm just really disappointed in everybody that saw this movie who's like, oh my god, it was so scary. I'm not gonna be able to sleep tonight. I'm like, my daughter's had scarier nightmares than this movie. Like Possessed Kid. Yeah, let's do that. That's like some fucking most terrifying film since The Exorcist. Who the fuck said that? Is there a source on there? Because I'm
Steve O'Brien, we're gonna find you.
Steve O'Brien, WCBS Radio. Like, did you grow up on just Disney movies? Is that all your parents let you watch?
It's the World Central Bullshit Radio. It was made in Mexico. That discounts everything right there.
Was the casing made in Mexico or was the movie made in Mexico? Because that could make a difference. I think if it were made in Mexico, it'd be scarier. Shit is real down there.
You still gotta love the name of The Further. You think that they could come up with something a little better than that?
I call it The Further. And what'd she call them?
Astro projectors?
Travelers? Was that what she called them?
Something.
Travelers? Like, all her names were very kindergartenish. She's like, oh, I haven't seen you since you were little. Your mother and I have known each other for quite some time. I wonder if that's going to come around again. I don't know. I mean, really, this was written like one of my writing instructors said, if you write about a gun being in a room, the thing better go off by the end of the story. Otherwise, why the fuck did you put it in the story? But in Insidious, it was like, hey, see that gun? No, that gun right there. See it? Yeah, I've never had to fire it before, and I hope I don't have to. No, that gun. Hey, remember that. That's gonna come back in the movie later. Like, all these little subtle things that, you need to kind of pay attention to. Like in Fight Club, at the end, you're just like, you watch it again, you're like, oh, I see that. That makes sense. Yep, that. And I can still watch it today. I can watch it 50 times and be like, shit, how the hell did I never see? Okay, yeah. This movie, it's just like, gun!
Something's gonna happen.
Remember that shit. I bought the movie, but I bought it because it was like $5 at Target.
You have no idea how many times she told me, you have to watch it just so you can see how shitty it is. I bought it so you can see how shitty it is.
I need people to know how terrible it is with me. I need people to talk about it. Because the people who say that it's good and scary, did you guys grow up on Bambi? Little Mermaid? That's it? I don't understand.
I don't know, when Bambi's dad got shot or mom got shot, whatever it was, that was pretty scary.
Some parent got shot.
Yeah,
What happened to the other one?
I don't know.
One got shot and did the other one run off with a younger doe or some shit?
I don't know. But whichever one got shot, that was scarier than this shit.
Don't get me wrong. He's got way more money than I do. Not him. Well, he does too. The Lee, 1L, if I'm saying that right. Whatever. Alright, that's fine. You have a movie and I don't. You have a couple movies and I don't. But you know what? I'm working on something. It's going to take a lot of research and a lot of time. But, someday, when I'm like 75 and it gets made, maybe I'll be dead and it gets made. It's going to be way better than this. Go ahead, watch Insidious, if you must. If you're afraid of it, love God, do not see Saw.
Mm-hmm.
The Strangers.
I haven't seen that.
Haunting in Connecticut.
Bambi, since we did decide that is scarier.
Drag Me to Hell, we talked about. Granted, that's more slapstick comedy, but that is still more terrifying than this.
If you haven't seen that movie, see it just for the goat part.
Yeah, the goat part was really good. Yeah. I like the end, because it's a twist. But see if, somebody else has this movie, like, borrow it. I definitely say don't buy it if you have to. This, if anybody in the Quad Cities needs it, it can recirculate. It's really not worth any money.